everybody and welcome to Starship Captains. My name is Eleni and I will be your hostess for today's flight, in which we'll learn step by step how to play the game. In Starship Captains, you are a newly promoted Starship Captain, and by the way, congratulations on your promotion. You'll be commanding a newly refurbished Star Cruiser, and you will lead a team of sentient beings who have dedicated their lives to the cooperative and its ideals. So you've got some crew management to do, and you also need to take care of your ship. You want to be the captain who makes history by defending, negotiating, and exploring, and at the end of the game also scoring the most points. We'll start our journey with setting up the game and getting to know all the components on your table. First, place the artifact tokens and the pirate tokens to your general supply area. Then you've got the medals and the damage tokens, and you also place all your miniatures representing your possible crew members separated by type. Place the cadets, the androids, and the colorful ensigns within easy reach. Next, choose the side of the board that corresponds to the number of players and place it on the table. This is the round counter, and as you see, the game is played over 4 rounds. From the second round onwards, the players will be receiving some extra stuff. On the second round's base, you place 4 medals per player and the home station tile. I'm setting up a game for 4 players, so that's why I'm placing 4 medal tokens. In rounds 3 and 4, you place 1 cadet per player. Next, you take the triangle tiles, and if you play with 4 players, make sure to include the tiles with a 4-play mark on them, otherwise leave them inside the box. You mix up the triangle tiles and you randomly deal 1 to each planet. When placing a tile with a number, flip it to its orange side. Only the home station is dealt no tile. See that its tile has been placed on the round tracker instead. Next up, you take the mission deck and you shuffle it. Remove all the triangle tokens with the mission icon and replace each of them with a mission card. The station tiles are flipped so that the effect side is up, and slide the matching station card underneath. Then you mix up the pirate ship tokens with the skull side showing, and you place 1 on each route with the skull symbol and flip them ship side up after placing. And when you're done with that, you place these 3 faction tracks near the board. Each track is double-sided, so you randomly choose a side for each track. The purple faction is the cooperative, which is actually your faction. You want to be the leaders of the galaxy, but really you are just new kids on the block. Your position on this track represents how much the admirals at fleet headquarters like you. The gold track belongs to the Tin Can faction. These are ancient androids and they used to be the rulers of the galaxy, but now they're scattered and confused. And last, we've got the black track, which belongs to the Neon faction. These are ruthless pirates who raid Tin Can settlements just for fun. You shuffle these event decks and deal 1 random event from each to these 2 corresponding tracks face up, the cooperative and the Neon faction tracks. As for the Tin Can, it only has 1 possible event, so you place it face up on the track. Next up are the techs. Place the tech board below the main board. Then you take the deck with the alpha and beta cards and you shuffle it. Starting to deal from the top, you deal 1 alpha tech face up to the Tin Can faction, and then you continue by dealing 5 alpha techs face up to the tech board. If you run into some beta cards, just put them on the bottom of the tech deck without looking at them, and when you're done, place the tech deck on the board. Last, you shuffle the Omega deck and deal 3 cards to the tech board. Set the rest of the deck aside in case it is needed during play. Now that the board is all set up, it's time to receive your very own Starship. Each player takes a ship board and a tech slot board, making sure everybody is using the same side. Players take the same color ship figures as their starship and place them on the home station on the main board, and they place their 3 faction markers on the starting spaces of the 3 faction tracks. And now it's finally time for your crew to enter the game. You place 1 ensign of each color over here, which is your shipboard's queue, in the order marked on the board. These crew members are off duty now, but you also place one of each color plus one gray cadet over here, that is your ready room. These guys are ready for some action. You also place 5 promotion rings on these slots on your player board, and you place 1 starting medal over here. Last, each player starts with 7 damage tokens, 4 are placed on their tech slot board and 3 on their Starship, on these indicated cargo slots. And now that everything is set up, we are ready to start the game. You choose one person to be the starting player, and that player gets the starting player marker and takes the first turn of the game. In Starship Captains, players take turns in clockwise order. It's super simple. On your turn, you do one of the following. You may activate a room, or you may complete a mission, or pass. One very important thing to understand is the queue on your ship's board. Usually, during your turn, you will need to assign 1 or more crew members to the chosen task, and to do the task, they will leave your ready room and end up in the queue. Eventually, you will choose to pass or be forced to pass if you have no one available to get more work done. Once you pass, you take no more turns for the remainder of the round, and once everybody has passed, then the round ends. And everyone's queue sends new figures into the ready room for the next round. And now that you know the basics and the flow of the game, let's see the gameplay in more detail. So we are at the starting location and there are no missions there. So you'll want to use your first turn to activate a room. Let's take a look at them. Your ship starts with 4 basic rooms that allow you to move, fight pirates, take a tech, or repair your ship. Whenever you want to activate a room, you take a figure from your ready room that matches the room's color, you move it to the end of the queue, and then you resolve the effects of the activated room. Let's say that this turn we decide to move, so we activate the red room. When you activate this room, you get 2 moves. A move is always along one of the routes on the board, from one location to the next, and it is always optional. If an effect gives you 2 moves, it's okay to use only one of them. Each time you move along a route that has a pirate, your ship takes 1 damage, which we'll explain shortly. So you've performed your movement and you land on a planet with a mission on it. This is often your best option where to move, as it sets you up to complete the mission on a later turn. If you end your turn on a station with a station tile, perform all the effects shown on the tile. The tile can be used only once per round, and after you've used it, move it to the round counting track. So moving along a route with a pirate gives you damage, but nothing happens to the pirate. The yellow room can help you change that and fight the pirates. You choose 1 pirate on any route leading from your current location. You then take 1 damage. You take the pirate token and its reward, which can be androids, medals, or artifacts, and add them to your ship. So basically, shooting down a pirate usually requires at least 3 spaces on your cargo hold, which means that you need to have the available spaces. If you have other stuff there, you can choose what to keep from the pirates and the artifacts. And the next room is the science room, which allows you to research new technologies. This can be very helpful to make combos, to build a better engine, to score some extra points at the end of the game, so make sure to pay extra attention to the available tech cards. So by activating the science room, you take a tech card from the central tech board and put it on an empty tech slot, so a slot with no tech card or damage token on it. Your tech might give you 1 or more tech bonuses, which you resolve immediately. The icons along the sides of a tech card are potentially bonus effects. If your new tech has any icons that match an adjacent icon, immediately resolve those effects in order from top to bottom. So in this example over here, you get a bonus repair action, and you also gain a medal. If a slot next to a tech has damage, you cannot place a card there until the damage is repaired, but you can activate the bonus if the icons match. There's 3 different types of tech cards. You can have a tech card that is a room, so it can be activated just like the other rooms. It could also be an ability tech, which specifies on it when it applies, or it could be an Omega Tech, which scores you points at the end of the game. At the end of your turn, you deal a new card to the empty space you left on the central tech board. Note that you always deal from the Alpha Beta Tech, even if an Omega Tech was taken. Last but not least, the grey room is equally important as it's where you can perform your repairs. As you've seen, your ship starts the game being damaged. Your tech board starts with 4 damage and you cannot place a card on a damaged slot until you repair it. You also get damage on the cargo slot, which costs you space from other valuable things you can place there, like artifacts or pirate tokens. During the game, even the best of captains will be getting some new damage as well. When that happens, you can only place the damage token in a cargo slot, but never to the tech slots. By the way, in the case of a busted cargo, so when you take damage but you have no empty cargo space, you must discard an artifact or pirate token to make room for it. If all cargo slots are full of damage, unfortunately you can still get some more. Any excess damage you take goes on top of the damage in the slots, as there is no limit to how much damage your ship can take. When you have excess damage, you can always choose to repair a tech slot, but when deciding to repair a cargo slot, you need to repair the excess damage first. As you can imagine, it's pretty essential to repair the damage on your ship, and you do that by activating the grey room and sending there either a cadet or any other figure from the red, blue and yellow. So these were the 4 basic rooms and how you can activate them using a crew member. During the game, from missions or pirates or from advancing on the faction tracks, you may acquire artifacts which are kept in your cargo hold. Instead of spending your turn to activate a room with a crew member, you can also do it with artifacts. When 2 artifacts are combined, they awaken an ancient AI that knows how to activate a room with the colors they have in common. So basically you got 2 ways to activate a room. One is with your crew members and the other one is with the artifacts. To do that, you select a room on your shipboard or on one of your techs, you spend 2 artifacts with the color that matches the room, or any pair of artifacts if you want to match the grey room, and you perform the room's effect. So we've seen the activating a room action. You may instead choose to spend your turn completing a mission. Let's see an example of how you do that. You've got your ship on a planet with a mission, so it's basically reserved for you. Nobody else that comes later can complete the mission as long as you have your ship there. So the first thing you do when you decide to spend your turn completing a mission is to take the card and place it on the slot beside your ship's transporter. You then need to assign a crew member from your ready room to each line, ideally with a figure that matches the color of the line. Then you resolve each line's effect from left to right and from the top line towards the bottom one. Last, you slide the figures into the queue with the topmost figure in front. That mission is now completed and it's yours forever. You keep it face down together with your other missions and they will be worth points at the end of the game. You may also complete a mission if the crew member's color does not match the color of the line on the mission. This allows you to complete the mission, but it doesn't grant you the line's effect. For missions, you may also use androids. Androids are mysterious guests that have joined your ship for a short time. An android matches all 3 ensign colors, so it can gain the reward from any line of a mission, and there are missions that specifically require an android to get the rewards. However, after use, they have to be returned to the general supply. You can easily remember that, as androids do not fit in the queue. Last, after you complete a mission, you need to reveal a mission somewhere else. You take the highest number face-up triangle tile and place it face down on the planet where you just completed the mission, and you also deal a new mission to the space from where you took the triangle tile. So these were the available actions for your turn. In order for you to be the best captain possible, you also need to get to know your crew a little bit better. As we've seen, you start the game with 2 ensigns of each color and 1 cadet. However, your crew can learn and improve. At the beginning of your turn and before you activate a room or assign a crew member to a mission, you have the option to train and to promote 1 or more crew members from your ready room. So how does training work? you ask. For spending 1 medal, you can change a color of a cadet or an ensign in your ready room to a different color. Usually you want to train cadets like this, but sometimes it can be useful to even change an ensign's color to a different one. You can also promote an ensign to a commander. For spending 3 medals, you can take one of your 5 promotion rings and put it over one of the ensigns in your ready room. You are now looking at a commander. An ensign is pretty flexible to change his specialization, but once you promote him to a commander, he can never change his color anymore. So commanders sound pretty cool, huh? But I haven't told you yet what they do. They are like ensigns, but twice as good because they can do 2 tasks. Their first task is like any other ensigns. They can go on a mission or activate a room. As their second task, they can either do extra work or command a subordinate. If you ask your commander to do extra work, your options depend on what the original task was. A commander who has activated a room can then activate another room before returning to the queue. You can choose the same room twice or 2 different rooms. Of course, the extra work must be done in a room with the matching color, which includes the repair room. A commander who has resolved a line of a mission can then resolve that same line again. If the line offers choices, the choices made the second time can be the same or different. Instead of doing some extra work, your commander can command the subordinate to report to the ready room. The subordinate must be either a cadet or an ensign of the commander's color, and it can be anywhere in the queue. They are moved to the ready room, and now they are ready to receive your new orders. So we've seen that there's 3 different factions in the game. The faction tracks represent in a way your diplomatic relationships with the various factions. During the game you will have many opportunities to advance on these faction tracks, which will increase your reputation among those factions, and it will grant you several rewards. You check the color of this symbol to see to which faction it corresponds to. The white one refers to any of the 3 factions you want, and the number indicates how many spaces you should advance. Whenever you advance onto or through a space with a bonus, you resolve it immediately. When you reach this space of the track, your political connections with that faction have led to an important event that will affect all players. You resolve it immediately and then move the card from the track to show the effect cannot happen again. Only 2 events can happen per game. If the 2 have been reached, remove the 3rd card from its track and return it to the box. The 3rd faction feels ignored by the player's diplomatic efforts and refuses to negotiate out of spite. Each faction track is divided into 4 zones, which are marked as being worth 1, 2, 3, or 4 points. Each time you loop back to the starting space, it is worth plus 5 points. There is no maximum value for the faction tracks, so you can keep looping as much as you want. However, for most captains, 1 loop is the maximum. It's not very common to loop more than once. We start the game with some pirates already on the board, but there is several ways new pirates can enter the board. For example, some missions might cause pirates to appear. To resolve this effect, draw a pirate token at random and check the route at your location that matches the color of the pirate's exhaust. If that route has no pirate, put the token on it. If there is a pirate already there, simply discard the token. Any route can have a pirate, but never more than 1. Also, as players complete missions, the triangle tiles will count down. When tile 1 is placed face down, there is a pirate uprising. You place 1 pirate token skull side up on each of the numbered triangle tiles. Then, at each of those planets, you reveal the pirate. If there is no pirate on the matching route, move the pirate there. Otherwise, discard the new pirate. Once you have finished with the pirates, turn all numbered tiles face up. The countdown begins again. And this is the flow of the game. You'll be doing 1 task per round, but eventually you will run out of ready crew members or artifacts you can use, so you will be forced to pass. However, you can always pass voluntarily, but it's rarely worth it when you still have available crew members in your ready room. Once you have passed, you take no more turns for the remainder of the round, and once all the players have passed, then the round is over. And when the round is over, you get to do the cool thing of sliding your figures from the queue into the ready room until only the last 3 figures on the queue remain. When you begin your next round, don't forget to get your new shiny free stuff that are sent from your headquarters for extra support. You distribute the new round's figures or tokens evenly to all players. For each station tile on the round counting track, either move it to its station if no player's ship is there, or move it to the next round if its station is occupied. Last, you pass the starting player marker to the left. The new starting player can start the new round with a ready room full of people that are once again lively and eager and bright-eyed if they've had a good breakfast. And sadly, as all good things come to an end eventually, the game ends after 4 rounds. You did it! You managed to complete your first flight as a Starship captain. Good job. However, there are some Starship captains that have done a better job than others, and now it's time to calculate who is the best. At the end of the game, you score points as shown on the score sheet. There's points for missions, points for the 3 faction tracks, without forgetting the +5 for each loop, points for any Omega techs, 1 point for each commander, android and pirate token on your ship, half a point for each medal and artifact on your ship, and -1 point for each damage. The conditions were very tough and everybody's worth a lot of praise. However, if you manage to have the best crew and the best ship, so you got the most points at the end of the game, then obviously you are the best captain in the fleet. Players can also look up the hidden meaning of their scores in the list of the epilogue page of the rulebook. Feel free to debate who got the best epilogue. And that's how you play Starship Captains. You are now absolutely ready for your first game. There's also a solo mode of the game, so you can play on your own. We'll be soon releasing a video on how to play the solo game, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and may the best captain win.